Oh my gosh, isn't she so pretty? This is for me. This is for me. I have two really, really big, deep thoughts for you, and I would love to hear your thoughts on them. So this is a discussion for anyone that wants to chit chat with me. So number one, I went like this, but number one is be aware of business advice that's very generalized. Like, you should always do this. You should always do this. You should always do this. Like, I do believe in frameworks, and also frameworks that allow creativity and expansiveness. Like, to generalize that there's only one way to do something, or this is the only way, I'm even careful. Like, I correct myself when I find myself just doing it without knowing that I'm doing it. So I'm so aware of it. And you'll probably notice I have corrected myself. And like, now you'll probably definitely notice that. And this is so important because I saw the post the other day and I was just like, it said to not prioritize passive income before getting like high ticket clients. And I was like, I felt so called to be like, well, that's not necessarily true based on the person, right? Like, she basically said, like, if you're not at 10,000 to 25,000 in reoccurring revenue, do not prioritize passive income before you get the high-end clients. And I don't agree with that. That's generalized feedback that may not be true for each and every person. Like, it may be a stay-at-home mom that doesn't have any expenses right now necessarily. Like, their significant other is carrying the team from like a day-to-day spending standpoint, and they want to add extra income to the family, right? Or maybe they have an inheritance, or maybe like we just don't always know somebody's situation and desire to build passive income or anything. It would be like saying that everyone loves Olive Garden. Like, not everyone does love Olive Garden. Like, in fact, my husband does not love our Olive Garden, but I love Olive Garden. So anytime he has like a sporting event, like, I typically always get Olive Garden. So just generalized feedback and advice is just, it can be a slippery slope. So just be mindful of that when you're consuming content, whether it be online or in a book or anywhere. Like, and just know that I'm always, like, I'm not perfect, but I really do try my very, very best to be mindful to not generalize. And I do correct myself a ton. Number two, so many women, everyone, but so many women overthink so much. And intuitively, I had the download last night. I don't know where it came from, the higher goddesses, but the intuitive download was, we as women overthink a lot. Typically, see how I'm not trying to generalize? Typically, a reason why, not always, but typically, a reason why we overthink is we have so many other fucking people's voices and opinions in our motherfucking mind. Like, there's just there's so much going on top of our own insecurities, our own voice, right? Like, our past, right? Like, all of the past versions of ourselves and other people just all in our head, and like, it's just so much. And so a lot of times I really think I'm included in this narrative, I really think we overthink, we are afraid to make the next move, or whatever is not serving us, right? It's because we have so many motherfucking voices in our heads that do not belong there. Like, I love the saying, tell the negative committee to sit the fuck down. And I'm gonna add to that, to leave the fucking building. Like, this is all my intuition coming in. This is like true, like, higher power Nellie. Like, this is my soul speaking to you. Like, this isn't even me. Like, I'm getting like chills. Sit the fuck down and leave the fucking building. Like, truly, because I have been working so intentionally since, honestly, August. Like, even before that, but like very much August, undoing all of those negative committee voices. Like, And a lot of them are fake characters. They're not even real people. They may be assigned to people, but is that even what they think? Right? Like, we make up so many stories in our heads that are probably not true. And we attach those to different characters in our life. And it just creates so much leaky, yucky energy that is not serving anyone. Like, truly. And so for months and months and months, I've just been like undoing all of that. And I can finally, like, I think I'm having so many intuitive downloads recently. One, because I'm listening to my intuitive downloads. And also, I have been getting all of those voices out of my head. I can move so much quicker. I'm trusting myself so much deeper. I'm communicating so much more effective. Like, I'm still gonna fuck up. I'm still imperfect, and people in my world, whether that be personal or professional, that truly love me, like, know I always have the best intentions. And like, I'm gonna own my fuck ups, and I'm gonna clean up my mess. Like, welcome to my home. Like, so, like, physically and like whatever the other word I'm wanting to say, figuratively, there we go. I will always clean up my mess. Like, I will always take responsibility. I will always clean up my mess and do my part. I'm not going to clean up your mess. I'll clean up my mess. Like, I'll own my part, clean up my mess, and your responsibility is yours, right? Like, and so I used to clean up other people's messes, and I had to let that shit go, right? Like, a lot of like the undoing, I had to own that I'm not meant to be here to save people. There's a difference between supporting and teaching and saving. I am not a savior. I don't want to be a savior. It's not helpful for you to be a savior. It's not helpful to me to be a savior. Like, I had to surrender to saving other people, to let it go. It is not my job. It is not my job. It's not my responsibility, and it's not helpful for anyone. And that has been one of the most freeing things. Like, we talk about money freedom and time freedom, but none of that shit really matters if you don't have emotional freedom. And I know that takes a lot. It takes so much to have emotional freedom, but you can get there. Like, I really do believe baby steps. I've been to the darkest darks, right? Like, I've felt so many things, just like everyone. And like, it's not a competition either, right? Like, it's not a competition. We're not here to like compare each other's trauma and see who wins. But we're all in this together. Like, we're all in this together, near and far. And it's just like, the more we let those voices go and undo and finally like hear our voice, you will no longer overthink for long periods of time, right? Like, you'll be less likely, I'm being careful not to generalize, you'll be less likely to overthink. You'll be less likely to stay stuck, like to feel in a funk. Like, you're no longer the villain, you're the hero. Like, and you feel empowered. And like, anytime you do feel those things, you're like, okay, yeah, no, I don't want to be here, so I'm gonna leave. Like, if you're not willing to leave the fucking building, I'll leave the fucking building and I'll build a new building. Like, I'll build a new building. Like, we just have so much power already inside of us. You don't have to go anywhere and find it. It's already within you. But you probably, maybe, have too many fucking voices in your head that do not belong there. And the more we like let those go, life-changing. Emotional freedom, one step at a time. So I hope you enjoyed coming to my TED Talk. I really want to do another TED Talk, so we're just going to manifest that too. Okay, bye.